Understanding Children's Emotions by Professor Vishala Patnam. Hello, I am Professor Vishala Patnam. Today's topic is children's emotions, how to manage them, and how to develop emotional competency in children so that they lead healthy, happy, and most successful life in childhood as well as in their adulthood. What are emotions? Emotions are strong feelings towards oneself or towards the situation or towards others. These emotions, these feelings are created basically because of stimulus and response. The stimulus can be the child or the person himself or herself, or the stimulus can be from the environment. It may be a physical thing or a social thing that influences and affects child's or the person's emotions or feelings. Basically, hunger. When the child's hunger is satisfied properly, he is contented. Health status of the child. Health is another very important component which affects children's emotions. It may be physical health condition or mental health condition. Third, the environment. How the social environment, people around the child or a person, how do they respond, how do they understand the child. And second one is the physical condition, whether the environment is humid, whether it is very cold, whether it is very hot, or it is the material, the furniture in that room or in that house or in that school, whether they are not comfortable to the child. So the comfort of a person. Next point is love and affection, or how the child, the person is understood by the family members, friends, relatives, teachers, classmates, and other people who come in the day-to-day interactions of the children or a person. So our emotional status depends on how we are understood, how we are treated by others. Children's emotions also depend upon how the people interacting with the child show love and affection, how do they understand children's needs, and how do they meet them. So it is interpersonal relationships, interpersonal interactions also influence children's emotions. The next one is settings, either home setting, I'm talking about physical setting, either at home, preschool, schools, after school, how the settings are, how the setting of their friends, how the routine is set. The setting is here, the routine activities of the child, whether they are interesting, whether the child friendly they are, suitable to the developmental age and chronological age of the child, and how the expectations in those settings and what is the reality. Similarly, what are the expectations of the child and what he is doing in reality, that also matters. These things influence the child's emotional status. So the settings are also very, very important, even though they include in the physical environment. Rest, leisure, work, these are also very, very important. Whether the child gets sound sleep and enough time to sleep, at least 8 hours is compulsory for every child to sleep rest hours, so that they also maintain good emotional status. Next is the work, how the child's routine is, whether the whole day is involved in studies or whole day is involved in non-academic things depends on. That also affects children's emotional condition. So there has to be balance between children's studies and games, sports, and other co-curricular activities. If there is no balance in it, that affects severely children's emotional status. Next point is whether the children's and the family members and the school teachers expectations about the child and the child's expectations about herself or himself, if they are realistic and if they are very practical, then the achievements, the child's performance will be realistic. So automatically the child will reach his or her expectations or others' expectations in life. So naturally the child feels happy. So the expectations, if they are unrealistic, if they are impractical, that also influences very badly children's emotions. If the child has friends, friendly behaving people in the family and outside the family, playmates, friends means here mostly playmates if they have, and play material, play activities, play space, then the child will feel very comfortable. If the child has good friend circle, playmates in the family, playmates, family members also must play sometimes whenever the child requires partners to play. And if the child has good friend circle and playmates in the neighborhood as well as in the school, automatically the child feels very happy and he tends to exhibit positive or favorable emotions than the negative emotions. Children always love to be respected, love to be understood, and love to be paid enough attention. Over attention and less attention to the child's needs always create many problems. Children must have enough space, psychological space, physical space, and some time in a day should be devoted to the child's interest. Child should have freedom what to do and what not to do at particular timings, so that the child enjoys the space. Indirectly he feels that he is respected in the family. Same way in the school also, during the interval and in the sports and games period also, children should have choice what they have to do it. As per their interest and abilities, children should be able to choose the activities. That is why the school must have different clubs, sports club, music club, dance club, like that, so that children can go as per their wish into those clubs. And there should be flexibility. It's not throughout the year they get into that same club. At least they should have the choice of 5-6 clubs. Throughout the year they should be able to switch over to different clubs. Emotions are intense feelings. These are created stimulus and response. They are internal or external stimulus, and the child responds to those things. So if the stimulus is negative, child reacts in a negative way. Something upsets the child, naturally the child gets angry, or he gets sad, he becomes unhappy, and he becomes frustrated. Those things happen. So stimulus and response, whenever we have to understand children's emotions, what is the stimulus, what is the stimuli or stimulus making the child to react in that way emotionally. Emotions are intense feelings. These are created, generated internally because of internal factors or because of the external factors. If the stimulus or stimuli is negative, naturally the child also expresses unfavorable or negative emotions. If the stimulus or stimuli are positive, then the child expresses positive or favorable emotions. How do they express and how do we understand the emotions? Children understand visual cues. If you see, after the child is born, when we talk to them lovingly with a very pleasant expressions, the child responds positively. So visual. So whenever we are dealing with the children, if we have to train the child to develop emotional competency, the people around the child, people in the child's life, family members, the teachers, everybody should express the right type of facial expressions because visually they understand. I had done a small experiment showing them the emojis. Children understand emotions, especially facial expressions. So, people dealing with children, the family members, particularly parents, grandparents, teachers, should have right expressions so that they understand easily our emotions. If they understand the emotions of others, naturally their behavior also will be controlled and they will be doing in a right way. So visual. I did a small experiment when these emojis came into the market. The cell phones software came emojis. I took the printout of that and just tried to see whether the children, without introducing what is what, the emoji picture, those cartoons, I showed them. You don't believe, children, not a single child made a mistake. Everybody identified the expression on that cartoon. So that means visual clues we always forget. We need not scream so much. We need not shout. We need not use so many words. If our facial expressions are right to express the emotion or whatever we want to convey to the children, easily they get it. Second one is hearing. If children understand, if we talk about them positively or negatively, children, when they listen about the comments, compliments, remarks, what we give, that influences the children's emotional status. That is why whenever we are talking about children, we have to be careful in using the right words and right way of expression also. And our emotions should be as much as possible very positive, favorably, and should suit the situation. We should not pour out our emotions unnecessarily on children when we are dealing with them. This type of emoji stickers can be put on their table, cupboards to educate them how to express various emotions facially so that they understand it better and they can act accordingly. The balloons, fingers can also be used to put various expressions and teaching them. If I show like this, I'm not happy, I'm sad, I'm impatient. All those emotions can be taught by using balloons or even on the fingers or stick pictures. Same way, whatever the use every day in the dressing table, the bottles also can be labeled like this so that whenever they see, they understand it is just like a revision and reinforcement of various emotions expressions. Their water bottle also can be put different type of expressions every week, whatever they like. Same way, especially the balls, table tennis balls are white and lightweight and they're very smooth. It is very easy to draw. Again, you can erase. You can draw various expressions and make the children understand and show those expressions also facially. It will be fantastic teaching aid to them. If you don't have table tennis balls, you can use plastic balls are available in the market. Similarly, children also should be taught through stories how to manage emotions, how to understand emotions, how to respond emotions using these balls or puppets. Many stories can be created for training children for emotional management. Stories are the best media, and role plays also. They can play, they can have small skits. That means children understand visual clues better than verbal. That means non-verbal clues are more effective. So we can use I am angry with you, I am upset with you. Instead of that, if you have those pictures, I'll be showing finger puppets more, or stick puppets at home. If you show this, I'm angry with that, then easy to communicate instead of having a verbal explosion in the family or in the school itself. Through touch also, children understand the emotions, the way we hold them, the way we cuddle them, the way you tap their at their shoulder or the back or on their head you touch, or just affectionately touching their cheeks, or making them sit on your lap, or in through your eyes. If you express love and affection, feel proud of them when they're doing any nice things. Or same way when you are upset, that upset also, if you show that through the eyes also we can touch. So the sense of touch also is very very important in teaching emotions and making also children to behave in a proper way. So sense of touch has to be used properly. Many times parents do not use this sense of touch in a proper way in dealing with children. Sense of touch must be used in a proper way by parents and by the schools, even the friends also. So there has to be a decent touch and a non-decent touch, a bad touch. So child also has to be educated about bad touch and an affectionate touch, and who has to touch the child also is very very important. Child should be educated, family members known to them that his or her well wishers can touch the child, but not the strangers and the bad people. So this is very very important. We have to train the children in that way. Through the touch, children can be educated about our emotions, how to understand the emotions, how to behave. So the touch is very very important, whether it is for adults or for children. Sense of touch. Through touch, we can transfer our emotions to the other person. How we touch, angrily whether you touch, or I remember when we were students, the teachers for a child, if the student does not behave well, they used to catch them tight the hand without punishment, without telling anything. If they hold them tight their hand, immediately the student used to say, I'm sorry, I will not behave in that way. So the how do they hold, affectionately or with anger? So we can transfer our emotions quickly through the touch. Here I want to advise the families and the teachers, educate the children what is a right touch and what is a bad touch, and who are the well wishers and who are not the well wishers. The child, how they have to do not respond, say no immediately to the bad touch and a touch of a stranger or unacceptable person. Children should understand what are the favorable emotions, what are the non-favorable emotions. I'll be dealing with one by one. Now I'll be explaining 15. favorable emotions and non-favorable emotions. Then they not only they have to understand how to express them. First they must learn the proper way of expressing their emotions, controlling their emotions as per the situational demands, and also managing the emotions. And sometimes they cannot express whatever they feel. They have to control their emotions and they had to bottle them up. And how later, after bottling up those emotions, how they have to take out those emotions, we call it as emotional catharsis. So all of us do not express, even though how mature we are, how much cordial environment we have, still we bottle up many emotions, whether positive or negative. We bottle up those emotions, and that we should not hold it tightly. Those should be coming out, expressed through the activities, through the games and sports, by doing vigorous exercises or by doing the vigorous work. Always I say that if the child is angry, ask him to wash his clothes physically, manually, washing his clothes or washing the vessels or sweeping and swabbing the floor. These things are vigorous activities. The child can let those emotions come out of it in a socially appropriate way through that energy, emotional energy. Emotions, these feelings are, they carry some type of energy. All, whether positive emotion or negative emotions, every emotion carries energy. When we bottle up that much emotional energy is hidden in the person, that can affect the child's or the person's physical as well as mental health. So whenever the children fall very sick, often they frequently they fall sick, whether it is due to climatic conditions or due to infections or it is due to the emotional incompetency. So that has to be analyzed, that can be assessed. First is we have to train the children right from 1 year age, what are the positive emotions and what are the negative emotions, or favorable emotions and non-favorable emotions. Second is how to express them in a socially appropriate way, age appropriate way and situation appropriate way. Then where, how to manage those emotions and how to control their emotions. All of us have to control our emotions in day-to-day dealings, because everything cannot be expressed. Those are the limitations environment poses on us. So these bottled up emotions are energy. When you hold energy, pump it. If you put lot of air into a balloon, it can take. When you blow more air into a balloon, it bursts. Similarly, all of us, whether children or adults, when we should know, even though we learn to control our emotions, those should be burst out in a proper way. So through the vigorous activities or through vigorous play is very good. That is why, to understand children's emotions, if the children are often falling sick, we also have to check their EQ, emotional quotient. I am very good at assessing children's emotional quotient. So when we understand children's emotional problems, then it is easy to understand them and to guide them and to treat them, so that they can come to the normalcy. It takes only a week time. Behavior therapy also can be given. There are various kinds of behavior therapy based on the emotional problem of the child, so that parents have to assess the child's emotional status and find out what are the emotional problems the child is encountering or facing, and what are the solutions for that child to get rid of that problem. Child's problem may be one, but the solutions can be different, because that every problem causes are many, solutions are also different. So they have to be assessed scientifically, and they have to be guided scientifically through the parents or by the taking the help of the teachers or sometimes even the friends. At least once in 2 years, children's growth quotient, intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and social quotient must be assessed, and necessary action must be taken in order to help the child to lead happy, healthy, and more productive life. Based on the emotional problems, different therapies can be used. Here I am suggesting 10 therapies which have to be done by the expert, and parents have to be trained on those things. How to handle the children's emotions and how to guide them. They are conditioning therapy, flood therapy, cognitive therapy, play therapy, systematic desensitization therapy, graded exposure therapy, crying therapy, laughing therapy, diet and nutrition therapy, and touch therapy. Whichever child has emotional problems, behavioral problems, personality disorders, all these are all interlinked. That is why when we understand children's emotions and children's emotional problems, then we can guide them scientifically. So scientific assessment is very, very important, because problem may be one, all children may have similar kind of problems, but the causes for those problems are, every child will have different causes for that particular problem, and solutions also will be different. That is why assessing children scientifically is very, very important. There are many tests for understanding children's emotional issues, emotional quotient, so that they can be guided properly. Emotional behavioral disorders or emotional problems, emotional incompetencies must not be neglected. Mostly parents will see the physical health and the child's performance, but these emotions, this emotional incompetency also affects children's day-to-day performance, academic performance, and academic achievements. That is why make sure that you understand your children's emotions properly. I'll be showing you slides and I'll be explaining what are those 15 emotions. I'll be explaining now 15 emotions with a proper explanation, and in what situations the children exhibit those emotions and how they express it, and how we have to train them in a how to express those emotions and how to manage their emotions. Because emotions, understanding emotions, emotional management also is so important. That emotional quotient of the children, growth quotient of the children, social quotient of the children, and intelligence quotient of the children has to be assessed. Whenever you find the child is not behaving in a proper way, not achieving successfully in his life based on his potential, his achievement or her achievement should be as per the potential of the child. If it is not happening in child's life, immediately the child should go for assessment, and experts help they have to take and guide the child properly. Because always remember, emotional EQ is very, very important. Emotional quotient of the child. Many personality disorders, many suicides, many health problems are because of the child or a person having lower levels of emotional quotient. I'll be showing you various kinds of emotions of children, right now 15, and what that emotion or that feeling is, how they express, what are the conditions that cause the children or an individual to express that emotion. and how they have to manage those emotions. If they don't manage those emotions, what are the personal and social problem the child encounters in the life? Let us see. The joy emotion means feeling of great happiness and pleasure. The common causes for it are getting freedom, being understood, being treated well, having favorite food, play material, apparel, getting good grades and compliments, getting prizes, awards, and getting privileges. Affection, feeling of liking people or pets profusely. Common causes are caring well, being helpful, being playmates, protecting them, fulfilling their wishes, traveling with them, helping in studies, assisting in their work, and reducing their anxiety and stress by being helpful to them. These causes make them to develop affection for others. The third emotion is curiosity, a strong desire to learn new things and know or explore unknown things. The common causes are exposure to new or strange things, people, and places, unknown things, to answer to their questions why, what, how, when, etc. The fourth emotion is interest. Interest means wanting to know, learn, feel, experience, etc. The common causes are exposure to new, strange things, people, places, unknown things, answer to their questions why, what, how, when, and also for getting good grades and appreciation. Fifth emotion is surprise. It means experiencing unexpected events, facts, things, and meeting unexpected people, animals, nature, monuments, creations, etc. The causes are unexpected exposure to either positive or negative people or situations. The sixth emotion is guilt, feeling responsible for one's own incorrect actions and incorrect behavior. Causes are aggression, cheating, misusing, and not performing well. Seventh emotion is anger, a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, and hostility. The causes are unexpected fear, insecurity, frustration, failures, withdrawal of privileges, and freedom. Eighth emotion is fear, unpleasant emotion caused due to danger, pain, and harm. Causes are failures, punishment, rejection, losing, painful experiences, neglect, negative thoughts, not having relevant capabilities, skills, shyness, anxiety, inadequate exposure or training. Ninth feeling is jealous, feeling or showing envious resentment of someone, their positions, achievements, or privileges. Causes are comparisons, sibling rivalry, overpowering, not having special abilities, skills, or privileges, encouragement of unhealthy competition. 10th emotion, shame, painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Causes realizing mistakes, misbehavior, cheating, or troubling others. 11th emotion is sadness, unpleasant emotion caused due to unfavorable conditions. Causes separation from beloved people, teachers, friends, pets, etc., health issues, disorders, failures, having got cheated, having got victimized, accidents, death of beloved. 12th emotion is shyness, feeling of apprehension, lack of comfort, or awkwardness, especially around other people. Causes for it are overprotectiveness, no or less social exposure, non encouraging environment, poor guidance, and opportunities. 13th emotion is self hostility, being unfriendly or in opposition. Causes are anger, aggressive behavior, bullying, stress, ill health, incapabilities, inadequacies, trauma, failures, etc. 14th emotion is contempt, having a feeling that a person or thing is worthless or having disrespect. Causes are anger, annoyance, name calling, mimicking. Child feels he or she is superior over other disliked person. The emotion is disgust, feeling revulsion or strong disapproval aroused by something unpleasant. Causes people's actions, ideas, and appearance. This is a child development assessment. Children express these 15 emotions in a different way and also manage them in a different way. They need to be guided well so that they develop emotional competency, which is very helpful for leading successful life. In this channel, please see children's needs and their characteristics without fail. They are there in this channel. I am sure you understand now the emotional needs of children. There are many needs. You have to see my previous videos. Children's needs, children's characteristics. Those two videos will help you in understanding children in a better way so that you can raise the child in a proper way and the child can acquire and attain his optimum wholesome development and can lead happy, healthy and most successful life. This video is very helpful for the parents as well as for the teachers.